I started this year with the thought of being intentional about myself, and that was because towards the end of last year, I realized how so unintentional I had been about myself. And this was because of certain things that I went through towards the end of last year. Now, I didn't have a clue how I was going to pull that off. I didn't even know how I was going to start. But then I asked myself, what does intentionality really mean to you? Why do you think you need to be intentional? What aspect of your life do you think you have not been intentional about? Now, asking and answering those questions helped me realize what the problem was and how to start. And that's how I started. Guys, this is Duchess Emotions and welcome back to another episode, or maybe I should say season 2 of Emotional Friday. I also want to use this opportunity to wish myself a happy 3 years anniversary. This time in 2019, I started Emotional Friday. Trust me, it's been a roller coaster, but yeah, here we are. So today I want to talk about intentionality. Now before I go on, let's quickly take a look at what the dictionary has to say about intentionality. Intentionality is a fact of being deliberate or purposive about something or someone, or being intentional about bringing commitment, focus, and attention to something important to you. When we talk about being deliberate about something, it means paying close attention to that thing. And so I ask, do you think you have been intentional about yourself? Do you think you have looked out for yourself well enough? Now, for me, I think that it is important for you to start being intentional because it's going to do you a lot of good. Now, one may ask, how do I start? And I would say, why don't you just start like me? Ask yourself, what does intentionality really mean to you? Why do you think you need or you want to be intentional? What aspect of your life have you not been intentional about? Asking yourself those questions could help you identify what the problem is and where you need to start. Besides those questions, what other thing do you need to do? First off, you need to pay close attention to those areas you think you have not been intentional. You need to make conscious efforts, everyday conscious efforts, until you become unintentionally intentional, if that makes sense. You need to make a day-to-day or week-to-week checklist of how far you have come. Do not procrastinate. The more you procrastinate, the more you become unfocused and the more you lose interest. Now, invest in self-care. Take care of yourself. The last but not the least, pay close attention to yourself and focus on what really matters. Now, these tips are not the final because for me, I think that learning to be intentional is more personal than just talking about and sharing tips. An unintentional life accepts everything and does nothing. But an intentional life embraces only what adds to the mission of significance. Thank you for watching another episode of Emotional Friday. I'll see you next time.